Hi, warriors. This is Jaylyn, my legal warrior, and today's segment is going to be about criminal protective orders. Now, this does fall outside of a family law context because, as attorneys in the family law field, we cannot get you a criminal protective order. It is within the criminal law realm. However, if you are experiencing domestic violence, meaning somebody in your family is abusing you, then when law enforcement comes and assesses the situation, hopefully issues a emergency protective order, and you decide to press charges, then they will in fact issue a criminal protective order. So you could potentially have 3 restraining orders against your significant other or that family member. So you can have an emergency protective order, which is immediately issued by the law enforcement. You can have a criminal protective order, which is issued by the court in the criminal law arena. And then you can have a domestic violence restraining order, which is issued by the family law department. So in terms of the criminal protective order, I just did want to make you guys aware that that does exist. And the only avenue to obtain this criminal protective order is through the criminal law realm. So you can't file for it. The courthouse has to be the one to issue and press charges against your abuser in order for a criminal protective order to stay in place. And they do that whether you want a criminal protective order or not. It's really for your safety. And I just wanted you guys to take a look at what that criminal protective order could look like. So there is, within the domestic violence context, it's very similar to the restraining order that would be issued to you in an emergency context, as well as the domestic violence restraining order through the family law courthouse. So this is what the form looks like, and this is something that would again be filled out by the court and by the judge, and you'd even receive your own case number for the criminal protective order, and the court can go ahead and do essentially the same thing that it could an emergency protective order or a protective order through the family law department. So they could not come within a certain amount of yards. They can't transfer, sell, or dispose of any animals. They can make peaceful contact with you, as an exception to the no contact or stay away. And this is only for the purposes of safe exchange for the children and court-ordered visitation. And if there is a court order, then you would go ahead, or the court would go ahead and actually check off that box. And it also allows you to record any prohibited communications made by the restrained party. So you're able to, in fact, record the other party if they did, in fact, contact you during a criminal protective order. Even if they contact you and try to have you dismiss the criminal protective order and they want you as a witness in your case, I mean, that is something that is highly inappropriate. It's a violation of the criminal protective order, and it's not something that you should engage in, even if it is for the sake of your children. Getting a criminal protective order is not an easy task, and if someone does have it, on their record, it definitely doesn't look good for them and for their future employers. And just wanted you to take a look at this is by the people of the state of California. So this is not, you against the other party, the defendant, the restrained party, the abuser. It's the people of the state of California. So it's the court that they are the ones that are pursuing this action against your abuser to protect you, because you are part of the people in this society, and the court has the obligation to protect you and your children, not just you. They could also protect your animals on top of that as well. And if the other party does have firearms of any sort or any weapons, this will also ensure that the other party has to release those weapons. And if they go ahead and do that, they have to, in fact, show the judge that they did release their weapons. And so release can be selling it or just surrendering it for a little while. So it just depends on the criminal protective order. Now, there is a criminal protective order other than domestic violence, and that one is very similar to the other one, but the difference between that is that this is not between you and a family member. This is like you and your neighbor, for example. Then in that case, then you would, or not you, but the state of California can go ahead and issue a protective order that protects you from your neighbor. So this is not something, again, that's easy to obtain. And if the court did press charges and does have the duty to protect you from individuals that are abusing you, then it will go ahead and provide this information and provide this restraining order on your behalf. So it's very important that you are aware of the different types of restraining orders, and this is one that would be very beneficial for you. And even if you have a criminal protective order, in these criminal protective orders can last for at least 3 years, and every time they're amended, they can also be extended during that time as well. But you know that's issued by the judge. That's not something you would necessarily have a say in. You would have a say in terms of providing the description to the court as to what actually happened. And the court would use your testimony in court to use that as evidence to issue a criminal protective order protecting you and or your kids. Well, we hope that this video has been helpful, and please share it with friends, family, your contacts, anybody that you think might be able to use this information in some fashion. If they can just check out the forms or go to those free resources out there, such as the Domestic Violence Restraining Order Clinic through the St. Eagle Volunteers Lawyers Program. You can even go to the Family Law Facilitator's office at the courthouse, and they could also go to the Legal Aid Society to assist. And there's actually a bunch of nonprofits that would assist individuals when they are facing a domestic violence issue. Thank you very much, warriors, for your time and attention, and we hope that you are staying safe during this coronavirus. Thank you.